Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year, and this is video 295. Thank you so much for being with me as usual. And today I got a question from a friend of mine, and I wanted to include this in tonight's video because it kind of goes with it a little bit. So she said, what do you do personally when you want to quit? And I said, it took me like 2 seconds to come up with an answer. And I said, I ask myself, does this assist me or not assist me? Does this serve who I'm becoming? Does this truly align with who I am? Does this thing make me feel the way I want it to feel, or do I need to adjust my perception of it? So I wanted to share that because there's a lot right there. It just came out of me when she asked me. I didn't even have to think about it when I said these things. So the first part of it is, does this assist me or not assist me? So think about your life as, how do I want to feel? That's the main thing, I think, is like, how do we want to feel? Because we think we want a marriage or a house or a job or a baby, all these things that we want in life. We want them because we think we're going to feel great when we have them, or better than we feel now. So we say, oh, when I get this thing, I'm going to feel better. When I get there, I'm going to feel great. But there is no there. Remember? Life is happening now. Life is all mental. Life is happening in your head all the time right now. That's the only place it's happening. There's no past. There's no future, technically. We're only having, this piece of now. So what are we going to do with the now? So does this help me or does this not help me? Does this assist me or does this not assist me? And does this serve who I'm becoming? So you get to decide who you're going to become. Okay, so I am big on eliminating things. I think we should eliminate a lot of things on our plate to see this empty plate, and then we can start adding more things onto that plate once we eliminate some stuff. Because sometimes that stuff just doesn't serve us anymore. It doesn't assist us anymore in who we want to become. Sometimes we're so stuck with just keeping things, which I'll get into that in a minute. Does this truly align with who I am? Really get into your heart and start thinking about, who am I? Do the things that I do on a daily basis, my habits, do they align with who I truly am as a person, or who I want to become as a person? And you get to decide those things. I had a client today. It was so funny. They said, I said, if you could pick some way of being your whole life, starting today, what would it be? And I was expecting her to say a feeling. And she said, Daria. She wants to be like Daria. Do you guys remember Daria from MTV? I remember it coming on, I think, after Beavis and Butthead. Back in like 90s. I was like, how do you know that show? Because nobody I know really remembers. Like, I have a few people in my life that would know who that is, but most people don't know who Daria is. So if you know who Daria is, comment down below and let me know. And did you watch Beavis and Butthead? Because I did, and that was hilarious. And so stupid, it was funny, one of those things. So, and she said Daria was nonchalant, like she didn't care about so many things. And I was like, hey, like, let's go with that. So we're going to make her Daria-esque. So I thought that was just hilarious. So, and maybe you need to pick a character. I said, put her on your wallpaper on your phone to remember that, like, that's your symbol of who, the identity you want to kind of model after. But it's not becoming another person, that it's becoming a new you is what it is. It's not saying, I want to be just like this person. No, you're going to be a version of yourself that has some of the characteristics that that person already embodies. And you're going to now embody those characteristics that are actually already inside of you, that are just buried by the things that happen to us in life, right? All the traumas and the events and all the things that happen, all the lies that we've had programmed into us, all the troubles and the challenges and all those things that are on top of us that we just need to unbury ourselves out of and from, to where we can actually have clarity and like see what we're dealing with. Look at the tilled land that we have there to figure out what seeds do we want to plant next. And then how are we going to water those seeds? What's a priority? What does watering look like? what does maintaining ourselves look like on a day-to-day basis? But I suggest elimination, and we'll get to that in just one second. And then I said, does this thing make me feel the way I want it to feel? Or do I need to adjust my perception of it? So sometimes we think that something isn't good for us, but maybe we just need to adjust our perception of it. So only you are going to know what's right for you. And I've been reiterating that to people today, just saying, hey, here's some suggestions for you. Just like I do on this channel every single day, I suggest things. You take the gems that resonate with you, leave everything else behind. Don't ever listen to just one person. I always suggest listening to multiple people and just getting what you need from each person. And sometimes you'll be attracted to a person for a little while to listen to, and then you won't ever listen to them again. Some people may be with you for life that you'll love listening to. And, some will come and go, and you'll take the gems from what they say and the things that you like the most, and you'll utilize them in your life, implement them daily, and you'll find what works for you and what doesn't. And one day you'll stop doing something you used to do every day, and then one day you'll be like, oh, why did I stop doing that? And you'll start doing it again. It's a cycle of life. We get to decide how we live, moment to moment to moment. And so I told this particular client, I suggested a few things to try, and I sent a couple videos over, and I said, remember to just stay curious. Always stay curious about, I wonder if this could apply to me. Don't just hear something or see something and immediately judge it. Just stay curious about it and say, I wonder if I need to open up my mind a little bit to adjust my perception of something and make it feel differently. If I maybe adjust or open up my mind a little more, or open up my heart a little more. It could be, I've told a few people today to get out of their heads and into their hearts again, and get into the feeling of who are you truly. And just like when I mentioned Tony Robbins and Alex Hormozi yesterday, Tony was like, that's the real Alex right there when Alex is laughing. And I used that today in a session. I said, that's the real you when you're laughing right there. You're connected to your heart when you're laughing. So I think laughter is the best medicine, as they say. So there is so much truth to that. I think they've even done studies on that people have healed. Well, I know they have. I remember a few of them. People have healed tumors, just from watching comedy movies. So there's something to laughter. It just connects you to another world, it feels like. So keep that in mind. Those are just a little bit of a couple of things that I wanted to share today. And also, I subscribe to the Daily Stoic. That was another thing that years ago I was really interested in. And I read the book, The Daily Stoic, every single day. I read that for a few years. They have like a little, daily passage that you can read. So I think about getting back into that again. I haven't read it in a couple years. So I thought, well, maybe I should open that up again. It's really good. But they send out these daily emails, and sometimes I keep them, and sometimes I, put them in my archives of notes that I'll get to someday. But I wanted to read this because I thought it was really good. And the title of the email is, You Can Get Rid of It. So I'm really into getting rid of stuff like I've been talking about. I've been throwing away stuff and just like making space for new things to come in. And so this email says, it's a timeless problem, old or young, rich or poor, married or single, successful or struggling, modern or ancient. What we do as people is accumulate stuff. We accumulate until our homes, our cars, our minds, and our schedules are cluttered. In Meditations, Marcus joked about people whose abundance leaves their owner with no place to shit. And that's just the physical stuff. We also accumulate, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? And that's just the physical stuff. We also accumulate problems and grudges and anxieties and commitments and opinions, piles and piles of them. Our mental load grows and grows. Our to-do list grows and grows. It all builds up slowly until we feel overwhelmed, stuck, and weighed down. There's only one way out of this mess, ruthlessly decluttering. We have to eliminate. Get rid of stuff, get rid of baggage, let go of beliefs, let go of worries, let go of people. We have to stop buying things. We have to stop saying yes. We must free ourselves from the weight of excess. Shed what's unnecessary. Clear away what's holding us down. Is there a better time to do this than right now? Spring is coming and it's the perfect time to clean up and clear out. That's the beauty of the idea of spring cleaning. We're only a few months into the year and already we know we could use a reset, that we'd benefit from wiping the slate clean. I love that. I love to wipe the slate clean. I love to declutter. I am the declutter queen. I had the nickname Neat Freak when I was in 6th grade. I was the only one, I feel like, with a clean locker, and this guy called me a neat freak because of it. So I definitely am. I love cleaning. Well, I don't love cleaning anymore so much. I used to clean houses for a living for like 10 years for my family and some friends of friends, and it made me a lot of money, and I didn't have to work full time ever because I had all these side gigs that I was doing. And I'm kind of done cleaning. I maintain, but I'm done. So, but I love to clean out and organize and throw away, and I love it. So I love to make space. So if you have any excess, chuck it, get rid of it. What are you holding on to it for? What is it serving you to hold on to it? Ask, does this assist me, or is this weighing me down in some way? Do I really need this thing? And so, of course, we're going to go into, hey, let go of, let go of worries, let go of beliefs, let go of people. Stop saying yes. When you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So remember that. And are you saying yes to yourself, or are you saying yes to something that you feel obligated to say yes to? So really question all these things. Again, stay curious. There's no, to me, there's no right or wrong full truth answer for anybody. It's what resonates with you is what is your truth. It's your truth. It's no one else's. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I don't ever want to come off as a guru, like I've said in the past. I do not know anything. I just know what resonates with me, and I like to share it. And I enjoy it, and it's fun. And I hope that things help you guys in some way that you can use in your own life and pass on to others. I like to be the reminder. I like to empower you to where you don't need anything outside of yourself to make yourself happy. You just need you. Just need to train your mind properly. That's all we really need to do is think properly. And I think when I've noticed a trend in probably everybody I know, including myself, not so much today, because I've trimmed so many things. Trim the excess. Trim the fat is what I like to call it. We got to trim the fat. So what fat are you going to trim? You know, it's like the more we have piled on, the more stressed we're going to feel. Therefore, our creative capacity is like zero. When we're always in fight or flight, when we're never relaxed, we can't have clarity. We can't get into our minds enough to create, to use that energy to create anything. So we're always in survival. So remember, we are abundance itself. It's just we're into the world so much. Just be in the world. Don't be of the world. You've got a whole world inside your mind. So stay in your mind as much as you can and know that everything always works in perfectly orchestrated order. It's absolutely perfect. I've always trusted this, and it has never let me down, not one time. I used to get worried about things. I don't worry. I probably worry about 5% of the time now, when it used to be way higher than that. I'm no longer fearful. That took me a long time. I even have a tattoo on my arm that says fearless. I got that in 2014, right after my divorce, when I was really terrified of moving forward, and just, it was terrifying. And I had it as a reminder to stay fearless as much as I possibly could. And I've gotten rid of a lot of that fear over the years, but it's taken me to consciously become aware of what I'm thinking and feeling, what thoughts don't assist me at all, what thoughts take away from where I'm going. And when you choose the identity, like Daria, that you want to become, decide what are the characteristics that person has that I'm wanting so badly. Like, how do I really want to feel in my life? What if I could pick one feeling, one emotion, what would it be that I'd want to live from every single day for the rest of my life? And how would I get there? And I like to go to, what are the barriers from keeping me from getting there? That's what we have to really focus on, is like, what is keeping me stuck here? Which is normally a belief system. What must I believe is true about myself, or what I'm thinking about my life, that's keeping me, held hostage here? No one is ever holding you hostage, ever. we're suffering inside of our minds. We're creating it inside of our minds. We're creating our whole life experience in our minds. So when I learned that, well, if I'm doing this, if I'm creating from my mind, then that means I can decide at any moment what I want to feel. And so I get to choose if somebody hurts me or rejects me or all those, it makes me mad. I get to choose if I react that way or respond in a different way that might help me and serve me and assist me more than the opposite of that. So it is a continuous practice to remind yourself that you are the creator of your life. You get to decide moment to moment what you want to feel. And we have to be very curious and aware. You have to stay as aware as possible all the time, as much as possible. Be aware and be present in your moment. Be present in your moment. Be present in your life. Be present in the now. You're always present, actually. You're really always present. It's just your mind might be like your body's present, your mind is present, but like sometimes we've got a bunch of just like piled on thoughts that just make us feel like we're not present. I think that's kind of what it is too. Like we're always right here. It's just we're burdened by our thoughts. We're burdened by too much stuff. We're burdened by too many payments, too many bills, too many things, too many people, that maybe we should let go of people sometimes too a little bit, even for just a little bit of time. Like maybe I need to cut down on work hours, or maybe I need to cut down on how many days a week I go out, or it could be anything. Maybe I need to cut down on the amount of hours of YouTube we watch, like put my videos on 2 times and go with it, and then end it and get off and implement it in your life and just have fun, like inject some more fun into your life, more rest in your life versus all the stress. So we've got to train ourselves like dogs to rest and to sit and meditate, get out of the world, calm the mind down, and start using your imagination and start thinking about the things that you actually want to create versus what you've got. Because remember, if you think the same way you've always thought, you're going to get what you've always got. So you've got to change something. We've got to change. There has to be an internal change. And so you got to ask yourself, am I ready to change? What am I so scared about will happen if I don't change? Like you got to decide. There's a decision that has to be made. And I promise you, when you make that decision, it's going to feel so much better. Every day I decide that. I'm like, I want to feel great today, no matter what. Great today, no matter what. I'm getting better and better every single day. I feel great today. Every day I'm getting better and better. You just start saying those things to yourself instead of the alternative. I used to say, oh, I'm so stressed. That is so annoying to myself to say that. I'm so stressed out. Oh my God, I used to be all stressed out. If you'll stop saying those words, because remember, your words are spells. What spell are you going to cast in your life? So for me, if I'm casting a spell all over my life and, throwing pixie dust everywhere on my life, then I need to be very conscious of what I'm thinking so that I'm making sure that I'm creating exactly what I'm wanting. So yeah, keep practicing. I'll be back tomorrow as usual. Thank you so much for listening to this daily rant and daily ramble. And I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your subscribes. And please share this with anybody who you might think would benefit from this. And remember, you're so loved. Pass that on to somebody who might need to hear it. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.